Now we're going to create some trees that are much closer to us where we're going to see some detail. And again, I'm going to use two different brushes. I'm going to use a round brush and a flat brush to do this. And we're just going to work on kind of creating a texture for the first two, and then in the next two we're going to actually do some light and shadow on the trees, and maybe even paint in some the tree trunks and branches afterwards. But so you're going to want to divide up your paper into, just with a pencil line, four rectangles. So I've mixed up a green here, and what I'm going to do is hold my brush. I am going to hold it now like this because I want to keep it really flat. I don't want to tilt it up at all. I want to keep it very flat so that I'm picking up the texture of the paper, because I want it broken along the edges and very irregular along the edges. And as you skim your brush over the surface, just show you on a scrap piece like this, as you skim it over the surface, see, you get that it picks up that texture. I mean, I can press hard. The more it dries out, the more, you know, I get that texture, which is a very good technique for when you're doing like water, where the light is shining on the water, and you know, you want to get that skimming across there, that texture of water. But we can also use it in a tree. Okay, so I've got my paint not too wet. You got to have it, you know, mix up your paint, but don't have a ton of water in it. Okay, and you can test it on a scrap sheet to make sure that you're going to be able to get that rough texture. Okay, so it might go up and down a little bit, you know, to kind of get a more solid area, because I don't want it completely all dry brush. So, and then I'm just going to move my brush left and right, up and down, and just kind of create also an irregular shape to this tree. Okay, so just kind of random, get a feel for treeness, if you will. So, you know, you want some light coming through. There's going to be areas where you have a lot of cluster of leaves so that it's more opaque, and then other areas where the branches are lighter, and you know, you get the light coming through. Kind of even it up as far as, you know, value goes, and that's about it. You know, depending on whatever you want your shape of your tree to be, just something like that is fine. So you got some areas in here, and we can put in some branches. We'll do like a tree trunk here, and that's all there is to it. So you can do another one, maybe mix up a slightly different green again. Maybe I'll take some of my brown, throw some of that in here, get a slightly different kind of green, and maybe I'll throw some blue in there too. There we go. All right, and let's see if I can make this one a little bit more broken up, kind of more. Let's really push the irregularity of this tree here. My paint's a little wetter, so it's a little. There we go. See, and I keep it uneven at the bottom of the tree with some character to it. And that's all there is. So you get these, you know, as you pick it up, you get these broken edges that represent sort of the sparseness of leaves. And then we take it, and, you know, we can take a liner brush, or we can take a pointed brush. Okay, you can mix up, grab some brown and grayish color. Not too brown. I like my tree trunks a little on the gray side. Okay, and then you just come in. Probably use a little bit bigger brush. I'll use my bigger brush over here. Oh, water. Switch brushes now. So I could actually paint a branch going in front of this, right, to make it look like those leaves are kind of behind, right, so that it kind of goes in and out. You can also do that, and you can then have it kind of emerge up here like this, so you have some, so it creates some depth by doing the branches over top of this area. You know, you skip over some areas that maybe look like a cluster, and you don't have to get too carried away with it. And then you know, skip some spaces, go over top of some branches, and then you create this forward and back in there. And then you can do the same thing with this one.